Imagine a world where one company controls not just one, but 3 major TV stations in a city. That's exactly the scenario unfolding in Des Moines, and it's raising serious questions about the future of local media. What happens when a single entity wields such immense power over the airwaves? Nexstar Media Group, already the largest owner of local TV stations in the United States with over 200 stations, has announced plans to acquire Tegna, another major player with 64 stations. This includes 2 of the top 3 stations in Des Moines, WOI-TV Channel 5 and KCWI-TV Channel 23, in addition to the Nexstar-owned WHO-TV Channel 13. If approved, this merger would create a behemoth with nearly 265 stations, far exceeding the current regulatory limits set by the Federal Communications Commission, FCC. A brief history, how we got here. To understand the significance of this merger, it's important to look back at how Tegna came to be. In 2015, Gannett, the parent company of the Des Moines Register, spun off its broadcast division into a separate entity called Tegna. This move was driven by the declining profitability of newspapers, which were dragging down the value of Gannett's lucrative TV assets. Now, those same TV assets are at the center of a potential mega merger. The TV landscape then and now. The television industry has undergone a dramatic transformation in recent years. Traditional broadcast models are facing stiff competition from streaming services and tech giants like Meta and Google, which have captured a significant share of the advertising market. Ted Stevens, a retired general manager at KCWI-TV in Des Moines, explains, "The broadcast business model has completely deteriorated over the last few years. Station mergers like Nexstar-Tegna are inevitable for the survival of lower-rated stations." But here's where it gets controversial. Critics argue that such mergers can stifle local voices and reduce the diversity of news and programming. Regulatory hurdles and potential outcomes. The FCC has long imposed ownership caps to prevent any single entity from dominating the media landscape. These rules include a limit on the number of households a station owner can reach, 39%, and a prohibition on owning 2 of the top 4 stations in any given market. However, the current FCC chair Brendan Carr, appointed by President Donald Trump, has been pushing to relax these restrictions. This means Nexstar could potentially get the green light to own both WHO and WOI in Des Moines, despite the existing rules. So, what might happen if Nexstar is allowed to keep all 3 stations? 1. FCC says no. Regulators could decide that owning 3 stations in one market is too much and force Nexstar to sell one of them to another company. 2. Business as usual. Nexstar could continue operating each station independently, maintaining separate staff, programming, and newsrooms. 3. Consolidation. Nexstar might merge some operations to cut costs. For example, they could end WOI's newscasts and simulcast WHO's news on WOI. Or they might keep separate anchor teams but have reporters produce stories for both stations. Why this matters to you? The implications of this merger extend beyond the boardroom. A single owner of WHO, WOI, and KCWI could potentially raise advertising rates, which could affect local businesses like car dealerships and grocery stores. Moreover, there's the issue of blackouts. When cable or streaming providers can't agree on retransmission fees with station owners, channels can go dark for extended periods. With all 3 stations under one roof, Nexstar would have more leverage in these negotiations, potentially leading to longer and more frequent blackouts. And this is the part most people miss. The media landscape in Des Moines, and potentially across the country, could look very different if this merger goes through. Multiple regulators will need to approve the deal, and the debate is far from over. Broadcasters are pushing for consolidation, regulators are reconsidering outdated rules, and viewers and businesses are caught in the middle. This merger could be the first of many, reshaping the media landscape in ways we haven't seen before. What do you think? Should the FCC allow such a significant consolidation? Or should they enforce stricter regulations to protect local media diversity? Share your thoughts in the comments.